Welcome back, and now we're into the first episode of the 2025 season here. Um, this episode, I'm aiming to get through all of the spring training, probably get through the first couple of months of the season. Um, but before we do that, what I will jump into here quickly is the preseason predictions. We did briefly brush over those last episode. We're expected to not be quite as good as we were last year, but it has changed now. We are expected to have the best ERA, the best defense in the division at least, um, as well as having a much better bat than last year, which is fantastic to see. Um, Predicted to obviously win the division again, which is really really good news here. Obviously we have to do that. It didn't go to plan last year, in terms of the predictions, and we won them. So we won the division, so it's really really great to see in terms of that. But what we're going to do is we jump straight into spring training. I've gone through and I've set up the lineups here. I'm just trying to get people playing as much as possible, trying to get Pacheco playing left field, right field, just to bring up his defense, because he doesn't have any sort of positional rating there. The same with Schofield Sam as well, who I do think can be an option for us out there. As well as that, we got so many options. We got four catchers here who realistically could all be starting catchers on a major league team. Obviously, Harry Ford here is great. Obviously, we picked him up in the Rule 5. Shea Langoliers, Daniel Susac as well is looking very, very good. Honestly, I think in terms of the depth we've got, with our lineup, I'm very, very happy going into this season. Obviously, I will say as well, if you didn't watch the last episode, the last couple of episodes, do jump back and watch them. Obviously, we went into the postseason and we went over the off-season as well. Made a few changes, and as well as that, just sort of went over the development of some of our players. Paulinho here is fantastic. Number 16 prospect as of the end of last season. So I'm really, really happy to see a lot of development. And in terms of our pitching as well, I'm getting plenty of time for Isaiah Lowe here. He's going to be our long-term ace by the looks of it. And also, as well as that, Salinas is being promoted from the bullpen into the starting rotation here. He's more than good enough, and he's only 23 years of age still. So hopefully he can do a job there for us. We'll see how he does in spring training at least. We got Grant Holman as well playing there. He's got 60 potential now, which was never the case before. Our scouts are a bit a major fan of him now, a bit more than he was before at least. Obviously he was a top 100 prospect, so he wasn't exactly it's not like he came out of nowhere completely. But Carson Montgomery as well here, looking fantastic. He's going to get plenty of time in the starting rotation. But if I'm honest, I'm just trying to get a bit of time for everyone here. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the starting rotation. If I'm honest, I'm probably looking to keep Isaiah Lowe and Montgomery down in AAA just for the start of the season, probably the first month or so, depending on how they do in spring training. Probably the first month or two, just for their use in terms of their their years basically, to just keep them on for longer really. It'd be stupid not to. But in terms of that, I'm probably just going to jump straight through, and I'm going to sim through spring training, and then I'll just jump back to you there once we finish that, and we'll sort of probably jump through all of the spring training stats, and then we'll get the starting lineups and the rotation all set to begin the season. Right, so we got through spring training here now. Before I go through and have a look at the stats, I do want to mention, obviously, the big news regarding the A's. Just in terms of, if you could comment down below, would you like to see me move on to Las Vegas, or would you like me to stay in Oakland and basically see if I can do the job that they haven't been able to do? It's up to you guys. If you want to drop a comment down below and just let me know if you'd rather see me go to Las Vegas or stay in Oakland, just let me know in terms of what you would prefer, and that'd be a really great help. But in terms of how we got in spring training, obviously as you can see here, we're 15-11. We had the best record in the division. Just a little bit better than the Astros there, but if we go into our lineups here, I've got the catcher selected first. So this has not made my choice any easier whatsoever. In terms of, Shea Langoliers, he was probably looking like he was on his way out, but he's had a great spring training here. Been very, very good. Obviously, he has the best plays the best defense. Luca Tresh has been batting really, really well. Susak hasn't been batting badly, if I'm honest, but he's been batting a 103 WRC plus, and all being above average with the bat. But what I will do as well is I will jump into the batting ratings here just to go over this. So in terms of if you going against righties, Susak is actually realistically, obviously Tresh is better at avoiding strikeouts here and has a bit better gap power. But in terms of your starters at catcher who could play relatively decent defense, he's your best bat realistically against righties. And then if we go against lefties as well, he realistically is probably your best bat again. Shea Langoliers obviously he does hit for more power, but he doesn't hit for enough contact. Obviously the gap power is a lot lower. However, the difference is obviously he does play much better defense, and if he's gonna swing the bat like this, I know he's it's spring training and he's not been had an awful amount of plate appearances here, but I would really be looking to start Langoliers if I'm honest. So I've cleared the lineups there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all the depth charts as well. So when we go through and do this, if I'm honest, I'm probably looking to, as much as it is a bit of a shame, I probably am going to just release Harry Ford back to the Mariners, which is a shame, by all means, because he could be a decent player, but catcher isn't exactly a position that we're in massive need of at the moment, and we do just have better options than him at the moment. I'd rather just let him go back to the Mariners, and then that gets rid of one. Obviously, Daniel Susak as well. I'm probably going to release him down. Drop him down to AAA just for the start of the season, and then see how it gets on. If Shea Langoliers doesn't start off hot, and if Luca Tresh isn't doing very well, then that's an option always to bring Susak back up. So that's why I'm going to go in terms of catcher. In terms of the infield here, so we have a lot of infielders. If we go by the WRC plus, as you can see, Gage Workman's been great. Matt Chapman's been phenomenal. Daryl Hernandez as well. They're gonna start at shortstop, third base, and second base every day. I think that's fairly obvious. As well as that, Paulinho's been great, but he's got 80 potential now. It's absolutely incredible. He's potentially be elite. I wouldn't play him third base as much as my scout does seem to think so. Never going to be good enough there. Good arm, but the range is not good enough to play third base. Paulinho started off well. If I'm honest though, he's someone who's going to go down to AAA. He's great prospect. Played AA last year after playing A-ball for most of the season. Came up and played a bit of AA. Was great in AA. I'm going to give him a bit more time to develop in AAA before bringing him up. As well as that, it does use a minor league option, but it's his first one, so that's absolutely fine. As well as that, Jack Moss, 80 potential again, just wasn't good enough. I think the thing is with these guys, like Moss, Paulinho, some of these top prospects, I don't want to risk bringing them up too early, almost like I did with Soderstrom. I brought up Soderstrom, basically ruined him as a player, and now he's gone off and traded. I will actually have a little look. Obviously, we traded him in the off-season to see how he's got on. Yeah, didn't have a great spring trade. Mainly didn't play much, if I'm honest, though. So I'm probably going to release Jack Moss back down and probably start the season with Oscar Colas and Michael Tolier playing first base, or even just Oscar Colas, because Zach Geloff can also play at first base as well. So that's probably where I'm going to go with in regards to that. But if I have a little look here, so Jack Moss can pop down. In terms of third baseman, second baseman, I mean, Castagnosi wasn't good enough. Max Muncy wasn't good enough. And Davison de los Santos was the same. So I'm going to leave it like that just for now. When I come to set the lineups, I can obviously take out more players. But if we go to the outfield here, so the outfield was majorly disappointing, if I'm honest. Gorski was not very good. Also, we know he's a killer in AAA. And he was, he's okay last year. I was hoping he would improve. But he's had, he's had an awful spring training. Also, as well as that, Pacheco as well, the big player we did bring in. Obviously, we saw a lot of potential in him. Captain as well. With a 60 contact, 60 home runs, 60 discipline, he could be a phenomenal bat. But he's perhaps just not ready yet either. Obviously, they brought him back. He brought him up to the majors too early last year. The Nationals, and he wasn't very good. I'd rather let him develop a little bit more in AAA. The same as what I'm doing with all those other guys. And perhaps, after a month, maybe later on in this episode, we can bring them back up. Cody Bellinger as well has been really, really good. I know that's not his spring training stats. But, well, actually, he's hit 6 home runs in spring training, the same amount as he hit over 75 games the whole of last year. So I'm hoping that that's, a sign of things to come, what we can expect from him throughout the season, which would be great to see. So we got, not all players, all batters. So we're down to 17 in terms of, obviously we're going to have to get rid of a couple of outfielders here still, and then a couple more infielders. So if I go to the outfield here, and DeLuca was not very good at all, if I'm honest. Do I want to send him down though? Because the thing is, I've got to be not get too ahead of myself in terms of people who've had good spring trainings and bad spring trainings, because someone could have a bad spring training and they could start off this, I say maybe not start off the season hot, but completely turn it around, because it's only a small sample size. 40 plate appearances, 27 plate appearances, 30 plate appearances on Capel, who was the best outfielder, but he only had 30 plate appearances here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send down Johnny DeLuca, because I don't think he's actually used any of his options. He's only 26, hasn't used any of his options. I'm going to send him down. Hopefully that doesn't ruin him as a player. Or perhaps actually send down Schofield Sam. I'm going to send down Schofield Sam just because he hasn't played at AAA yet. And then, as well as him, do I send down DeLuca as well, or do I send Matt Gorski? I mean, both were pretty horrendous here. DeLuca, slightly better. I'm going to send down DeLuca. Mainly because Matt Gorski is a favourite of mine for some reason. Just because, obviously, I picked him up. He had 49 home runs in AAA. I'm hoping at some point in this save he can turn it around and perform like that in the majors for me. In terms of the infield now, just a couple more players to go. But what I will do is I will set the lineups. So I will go to your batting ratings here. If I go to all batters. So I will set the lineup here. Contact versus righties. Let's see what the manager does think. If he thinks Estri Ruiz, I mean, I'm not against that by any means. I don't know why Estri Ruiz he should be a centre fielder. I think Estri Ruiz can start at centre field. I think then I'm actually going to okay. Hernandez is going to bat second. I think Gage Workman. Does he? I think then Gage Workman can bat third. And then we will go for Matt Chapman, fourth. Looking for a bit of power. Maybe Luca Tresh as a DH. Shea Langoliers, maybe not actually as high up as that. And maybe I look at getting Oscar Colas in ahead of him. First base. Against righties at least. And then so right field and left field here. So again, our outfield, probably our weakest position. I'm probably going to go with Connor Capel. And then I'm actually going to go with Cody Bellinger to play right field. If I change him to a right fielder, how does that stack him up? You know what? Just mainly because he's had a great spring training, same as Capel. Hopefully they can, turn it on to start the season. We've got Brenton Doyle and Matt Gorski here, who can back up on the corner outfields and also at centre field as well, Brenton Doyle. So I'm more than happy with that. Generate a depth chart. Geloff, wow, against left-handed batters, pitchers, sorry. He's very, very good. Okay, left-handed batters. Left-handed pitchers, sorry. I keep on calling them batters. So I'm going to go with Esther Ruiz again. He's actually even better against lefties. Hernandez here. Then Zach Geloff to start at first base. Wow. Brenton Doyle can bat fourth. Luca Tresh can DH. Shea Langoliers. Matt Gorski can probably just get a bit more time. I mean, Bellinger won't play. Gage Workman. Shea Langoliers is already playing here. So third base, where's Matt Chapman? Why have I not put him in yet? Matt Chapman here, so we can actually shuffle up a little bit. What in left field? You know what? I'm going to play Matt Gorski here. Oh, do I play Connor Capel? I'm going to play Connor Capel here, but Matt Gorski is going to get time backing him up at left field, actually. Yeah, every third game here, I'm more than happy with that. Ruiz is going to get some time at... No, thank you. Let's go... Where's Gorski? Yeah, very happy with that. I mean, if I'm honest, looking through players that we don't need, Tolia, don't think he's needed. He can go down to AAA. I mean, it is a shame. And maybe trade him away, if I'm honest. He's been sent down a few times now. And then probably you're looking at Angeles or Oswaldo Cabrera. Probably Angeles, just because Oswaldo Cabrera has been a lot better in spring training, realistically. So I will go ahead and do that. And now I've messed this all up. What have I done? Right. Right, so I'll get this lineup sorted, and then we'll go on to the pitching after that. Right, so if I'm honest, this is going to be just about as hard, or possibly even harder than the setting the lineups here. So, going through and doing the pitching here, a couple of things I did want to do. Perkins, I know, has not been good enough. He is only young. I don't think he's even pitched in AAA. He wasn't great in AA. He's just had a fair bit of development and actually became an option for us, mainly as a starter though. So I will drop him down to AAA. Hopefully he can start in AAA and get a bit of time there and develop. I will also, who else? Ryan Cusick as well. See, it looks very good, but I'm going to get him some more time in AAA, perhaps as a. I mean, do I? You know what? Yeah, I am going to send him down to AAA, just because he can always come up as another option at some point. Dario Gardea can go down. I will set this as a 5-man. So the main two things we have here is Azilo, who's actually been great in spring training here. And as well as him, Carson Montgomery, who hasn't been as good by any means. I mean, Carson Montgomery's a straight. He can go down to AAA. And I think as well, as much as Azilo is good enough already, I'm going to send him down to AAA to start the year just for service time, basically. That is the only reason. And as well as that, we don't actually have any space on our 40-man roster. So I'm going to send him down just because I think, pitching-wise, we've got plenty of options anyway as it is. And I think I'm going to go with a JP Sears. So if I set my starters, at least my starting options, Dalton Jeffries as well. So, I mean, Morahan could even start, and so could Mason Miller, to be honest. But as well as Adrian Martin, we've got plenty of pitching. It's great to have the depth at least. If I'm honest, I think Grant Holman has to start. Perhaps further down, I'm going to move Roy Basalas to start after JP Sears. Carl Muller has to start again. More close to league average, but he's put up plenty of innings over both years. And then the last pitcher is perhaps Dalton Jeffries was close to league average last year. Waldichuk. I mean, Waldichuk did have a great year. He doesn't pitch as many innings. But the reason that doesn't bother me as such is just mainly because we have such a good bullpen. It doesn't really need to be an issue. So in terms of that, I mean, Hayne Younger, he can come off the shortlist. I just want to see my all-stars, basically. So obviously we got 2 all-stars in the starting rotation there with JP Sears and Carl Muller as well. So great to see that. 2 all-star pitchers in the starting rotation. Krismat is very good, but I just don't think he's good enough. I mean, I think Adrian Martinez can come down, as much as he has been great here. If I was to set the bullpen, what would he go with? I mean, I don't agree with this for a start. I would start I would swap these two guys around. Zach Jackson. I mean, after the season he had last year, he doesn't lose his role as our closer, and until he until he really starts to perform. As much as his postseason was worrisome, he had, with such a good regular season behind him, I don't think he loses that spot. Even though we got Hayden Younger here as well, who just had just as good of a season. I think this bullpen is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. So we got Zach Jackson, Lucas, phenomenal pitcher. Morejon as well, can pitch a few more innings. He has a bit of stamina. Younger as well here, used more often. I think Mejia has to get a slot. Does Mason Miller go down? He's been great in spring training as well. Dalton Jeffries hasn't had a good spring training. I'm going to demote him. Okay, wow. I'm actually going to waive him. Hopefully he doesn't get picked up. Realistically, he will, because he is a very good pitcher. Who was above league average last year. Probably should have traded him away, if I'm honest. But Krismat as well will go down. Another player. Okay. And then one more. So if I would say Mason Miller, I think, as well. So if I was to now... I want him as a closer. I want him as a setup. Secondary role as a closer. And I'm happy with that. Maybe, I was perhaps considering sending John Schreiber down. He didn't have a great season in AAA last year. But, he should be more than good enough. We're paying Nabil Krismat $5 million. I think, I don't think he will be picked up. As much as, it may seem a bit of a waste to send him down to AAA on that sort of money, I think it's worth it. Mainly because he walks around in a Dodgers hat, so when he plays on the A's, so more than happy to do that. I said that is going to be what we're going to head into the season with. So we got Ruiz leading off, Hernandez, Workman, Chapman, Tresh, Colas, Langeliers, Bellinger, Capel. All of these guys had good spring trainings. Our starting pitchers, we got, 3 lefties, 2 righties. Holman's the only one who had a bit of an iffy spring training, but I do think he would do a lot better. And then in terms of our bullpen, they all had great spring trainings, really. Very, very happy with this team going into the season. I will go through and I will go and edit all of this, put everyone in their necessary sort of their necessary team for their level, and then I will jump back to you there and we can get the season started. Right, so I've sorted all the minors out now. Currently massively regretting Nabil Krismat. 1.5 WAR out of the bullpen last season. Started 6 games, 1.28 ERA plus with an 82 FIP minus. Massively, I tried to remove him from waivers. Obviously, I can't do that, so I'm just gonna hope he doesn't get claimed. Really, really stupid decision now. I do think Dalton Jeffries as well there, mainly because I could have just sent down John Schreiber. I mean, saying that, he might make an all-star team this year. He is a great pitcher himself, but I do think that was a waste of Nabil Krismat, and I could have had Schreiber down in case of injuries to come back up. Dalton Jeffries as well is a great pitcher. There just wasn't really any room for him, unfortunately. I've gone through and sorted the minor league system out. Sorted all of that out. We got great potential in every team, really. I mean, the high A is not looking quite as good, but obviously 270 potential players here. Aiden Harris looking great. Still only 18 years of age. Same as Noah Sheffield here. Landon Maraudis, obviously we took him a couple of drafts back in the 2023 draft. look at, he's starting to develop really, really well now as a third baseman. But at 20 years of age, I probably should start looking to bring him up to able. If I do have a little look though, I believe he's just not quite there, unfortunately. No. So I've left him in rookie ball for now. And then as well as that, I mean, the potential we have in our AAA team is incredible. I mean, half of these guys would be, getting time on a major league roster, but because our minor league team, minor league system is so good, they will come up and they will get a chance. But anyway, I'm going to hope Chrismat does not get taken. But it's good news so far. Both Chrismat and Jeffries have not been taken, at least. But we're going into the first day of the season to opening day here. So, top 100 prospect list. Paulino's up to number 3. So he's 80 potential here. He's a number 3 prospect in baseball. And OSA's higher. They think he's got a better eye and a better power than we do. Obviously, we think he does have slightly better contact. He's going to be a phenomenal bat for us, really down the line. His eye low as well, number 6 prospect. We've got a really, really good minor league team. We're on opening day here. Let's just have a little look very quickly. See what we got. So we got Paulino and Lowe 3rd and 6th. We got Montgomery, Schofield Sam, Moss, Hader, Mullinax and Yasser Mercedes all make the top 100, as well as Muncy, Palafox, Cisneros, Cam Brellan, De Los Santos and Kusick all making the top 200 prospects. Number 1 minor league system in baseball. Really, really happy with that. But we've got our first series here against the Rangers. So we're going to jump straight into it here now. First game, we got JP Sears. I mean, all 3 seasons he's been pitching in front of our rotation, really. Not good enough, if I'm honest. But obviously we have a couple of future aces who are about ready to come up. So we get the first game of the season done, opening day, so we lose 5-2, which is not good to see. Workman with a homer. JP Sears, 4 runs and 8 hits over 5 innings is not good to see. Schreiber as well gave up a run and 3 hits over 1. Maybe by the time Chrismat comes off of waivers, he can just go straight in and replace him. Let's see how we get on over the series. So Jacob DeGrom, we're up against DeGrom now, with Royber Salinas. 2-1 win, fantastic. Was not expecting that. Up against DeGrom. So a double for Tresh and Workman. 2 hits for Ruiz, 3 hits for Tresh. Great to see. Salinas, only 1 run given up over 5.2 innings. Really, really good to see. 4 hits. Junga, Lucas, Jackson and Morahan all gave up 0 runs. 0 hits for Lucas, Jackson and Morahan as well, which is really, really good. So Ricky Vanasco now we're up against. Wow, he's not a starting pitcher, if I'm honest. Carl Muller, 6-1 win. Great. I would have been disappointed if we didn't put up any runs at all there. Muller, 1 hit over 6 innings. Again, another year, and another year where he's performing really, really well for us again. It's only 1 game, but Langleys as well. Ruiz off a couple of hits as well. Hanaez, a couple of hits for Colas. Great to see. We'll probably get through a couple more series, and then I'll probably skip along to the end of the month. So we're up against the Twins here, who are a very, very good team, made the playoffs last year. Ronnie Henriquez hit. Wow. Okay, very, very good pitcher. Great for them last year, but he looks even better for this year here. So we got Grant Holman up against Ronnie Henriquez here. No, sorry, JP Sears was that. And wow, okay, I didn't realise that we were playing them twice. Also, both Chrismat and Dalton Jeffries have cleared waivers. They can just go straight into AAA for now. So we lost 16-6. 5 runs given up by Holman, 4 by Junga, 7 by Mejia. 3 hits for Workman. Our our pitching's really been letting us down so far. We have not been very, very good. What runs against 14th in the league, so second to last. That's got to improve. Chris Paddock up against Ken Waldichuk here. (8-4) win. Okay, great to see. Thank God. Back to normality here at least. Ruiz got 2 runs off of 2 walks, which is really good to see here. Okay. Hernandez 2 hits as well, 2 hits for Workman, 2 hits for Colas, Langeliers, and Bellinger. Bellinger's had a really hot start to the season. Is he going to return to form? Finally, we only got a couple of... Oh, he's got a player option. I did not realise that was a player option, which, could come back to bite us if we lose him here. I mean, Hernandez 2 home runs there. Already got 3 home runs in the season. I mean, he's the real star bat in our team, really. Last year, he put up the most WAR. I mean, obviously, alongside Chapman as well, has been very good for us last year. Workman started off the season very hot as well. Obviously, playing phenomenal shortstop defense. Colas and Bellinger with the homers. Waldichuk with the win. 2 runs over 5 innings. I'm okay with that. And we'll get through perhaps the Orioles game, the Orioles series here. So Brandon Woodruff up against Royber Salinas. 8-2 loss. Not great to see. I mean, it didn't seem to be Salinas who let us down there. 4 runs over 5 innings is great. 2 runs for Barrera, 1 for Mejia, 1 run for Schreiber as well. I'm probably going to have to make some changes in the pitching rotation and the bullpen, it seems. Gorski as well. Our bats seem to have started the season very, very hot, but we've been so poor with our runs against. It's our defense as well. Our defense has been horrendous, which is a massive surprise to see. Obviously, having we do have a very good defensive team. Obviously, Workman at shortstop, Hernandez, Ruiz, Chapman at third, Langeliers as well, Bellinger, Capel. Hopefully this doesn't continue. We've got a losing record at the moment. Right, Grayson Rodriguez up against Carl Miller. 2-1 win again for Miller. Picks up the win. Concedes 1 run over 5 innings. Jaman came in. Morahan got the win. Save for Jackson. Triple for Workman. Home run for Bellinger. Good win. I will take that. And then the last game of this series is up against John Means here for JP Sears. Let's get the win. 6-1 win. Fantastic. Okay. Hernandez with another 2 home run game again. So in the first 3 series, is it 3 series we've played? He's hit 5 home runs. He's had two home run games. He's got a 235 OPS plus. I mean, obviously, he hasn't played very much, but really, really happy to see that. Workman with a homer as well. Finally starting to, produce on what we thought he could do with the bat. Obviously, last year he was below league average, but the ratings didn't show that he should be that way. So Chapman as well hasn't really started off very hot, unfortunately. But last game he had 2 hits. He had 2 hits here. He's starting to pick up a little bit. I think it's just in the first couple of games, really. But what I will do is I will jump through probably to the end of the month, and then I'll get back to you there. I mean, we're 5-4 at the moment, and we're leading just ahead of the Mariners. So hopefully this does continue, and hopefully we can improve a little bit more from here, and have a bit of a better winning percentage than a 5.56. But the good news is as well, obviously, the Astros aren't playing well. The Rangers, the Angels are not, all of them are not looking very good at all. The Seattle Mariners are back, though, after a terrible year last year, mainly due to Julio Rodriguez, by the looks of it, who is, I mean, this outfield range and centre field defence is unreal. You know, when he's batting, you know, like this. Wow, okay. Um, Right, so I will skip through to the end of the month and I'll just get back to you there and give you a bit of an update on how things have been going. Right, so we're back and we've got through May here. We're above 500. We're leading the division again. And the good news is the Mariners have dropped off. The Angels have picked up a little bit to 500, but we're comfortably leading the division at least. You know, which is really, really good to see. Hopefully that does continue. As well as that, Cody Bellinger is hot. So the choice to start him at right field has been a very, very good choice. And as well as that, actually, if I do go head into the lineups, Matt Gorski and Brenton Doyle in limited game time as sort of our backup outfielders have been batting actually really quite well. So that's really good to see. Obviously, Daryl Hernandez this season has took it to another level. Last year had a 115 OPS plus, so I'd imagine, you know, he has a very solid season again, I would have imagined. But, you know, coming into this season, he's added the power that he didn't have last year. He's already hit 7 home runs when he had 10 over the whole of last season. You know, the slugging percentage is up to, you know, 644. Obviously, I don't expect this to continue for the whole season. But, you know, he's been very, very good. And obviously a player we had on the A's when we first started this series, which is really good to see. Glenn, I keep on calling him Glenn. Gage Workman's been very good again, playing, you know, fantastic defense and above average with the bat as well, which contributes to a 7 WAR over the season, which would be fantastic if we get that from him. You know, as well as that, some really good years with the bat so far. With Oscar Colas had a great first month. Connor Capel has been above league average. Matt Chapman, didn't start off great. He's starting to pick up a little bit now. Eshu Ruiz hasn't been great though. Luca Tresh and Zach Geloff have been really quite dire actually, unfortunately. You know, Luca Tresh here, you know, minus 0.7 WAR at DH. You know, really, really not good to see. You know, he's scheduled to start. You know, he started plenty really for us. So if that continues, we'll have to sort of drop him down because we do have options there. And then Zach Geloff hasn't been very good either, actually, to start the year. But I'll probably give them another month or so. But we do have options. Obviously, Jack Moss here has been fantastic in AAA. He's already hit 9 home runs over the first month. So I can bring him up to play DH instead of Luca Tresh. Paulinho hasn't actually been great, so I will be leaving him down for the time being. Isilo been great. I will probably leave it a little longer though before I bring him up. The same with Carson Montgomery. I'm probably imagining the start of next month. Both of them will be coming up. Pacheco as well has been great here. The only thing is with him, it's actually quite a surprise, but you know, our outfield hasn't actually been bad, so it's not really necessary for us to send anyone down for the time being. And you know, as long as he's improving, you know, I've got another scout report back from him in a day, so we'll see how he comes along over the next month. If he's still doing as good as he is here, I imagine we will be bringing him back up. I say back up, bringing him up. Davison De Los Santos has started the year really hot in AAA as well. Castagnosi hasn't been great, but he's only been a pro for this is his 3rd year in the pros, so wasn't exactly expecting something amazing. Max Muncy's been fantastic. 8 home runs already. 6.5 WAR scheduled to hit. 141 OPS plus. Really, really good year from him so far down in AAA. Schofield Sand's been really good as well. Hopefully, he does keep on improving that outfield defense at left field. And then Daniel Susak as well. You know, 1,000 OPS, 125 OPS plus. Really, really good to see. But we'll jump straight into things. I mean, in terms of also as well, I don't think I mentioned, but pitching wise, it's starting to improve. It's not as good as last year by any means, but I would imagine a lot of these guys are going to improve from where they're at. Carl Miller's never going to continue this. Hayden Younger had a 2.7 WAR last year, 61 fit minus. I wouldn't imagine that will continue. Salinas as well should do a lot better. I know he is a starter, so potentially I could move him back into the bullpen and see if that makes a difference at some point. But I'll give them all another month or another couple of weeks at least, see how this goes. But we will finish off this series against the Rangers. And if I look at the schedule here, who have we got? I'll probably finish this series off against the Rangers, perhaps play the Cubs, and then I'll definitely play the Angels here. I would then probably skip through this, maybe skip through Seattle depending on how they're doing, and then probably play the rest of the month here because we do have a lot of divisional matchups, which would be really good to see. So first of all, we got Cody Bradford here. We were coming off an 11-2 win actually, with a home run for Bellinger, Tresh, Colas. Obviously, as we did discuss, Bellinger's been very, very hot. Holman's actually starting to turn it around as much as he had been below league average so far. He's starting to turn it around over the past 3 games. Walchuk's had a great past 3 games, same as JP Sears. So let's head into this game. Cody Bradford is up against Roybert Salinas. 5-4 loss, which is not very nice to see here. Zach Geloff with a home run. Same with Ruiz and Gorski. Couple of hits to Doyle. A couple of hits for Workman. Wasn't Salinas though who gave us loss. It was Morahan. He got 2 runs. I mean, Junger got a blown save. He has really not been great. Lucas as well gave up a run. Our bullpen really let down Salinas there, unfortunately. So you've got Trevor Rogers here up against Carl Miller, who can hopefully continue to turn things around with a 3-2 win, which is great to see here. Chapman with a homer, 2 hits for Workman again. Really, really good year with the bat so far. 2 runs by Miller. It wasn't actually Miller. I mean, Miller, 3.2 innings pitched with 2 hits, 2 runs. But the bullpen came in and pitched very, very well from there on out. So, up against Alamo Santa with a 6-1 win. Who was that who pitched that? JP Sears, 1 run given up. Shaman and Barroa came in and pitched very, very well. Bellinger hit a home run, same as Langoliers, Cabrera and Doyle. 2 hits for Doyle, who's been great in limited time. Maybe should start looking for a bit of a bigger role for him. As much as Bellinger has been very, very good so far. Maybe if we might need a little workaround within the outfield. Esther Ruiz has not been playing very well at the start of the year. If he continues like this to the end of the month, perhaps Bellinger will be starting at centre field. Perhaps we can move Bellinger over to centre field. Bring in Gorski or Brenton Doyle into right field. They're both playing very well. They can sort of share it there. Perhaps platoon. And then as well as that, at left field, we've got Connor Capel at the moment. Maybe Pacheco can come up. So there's plenty of movement that can happen within the outfield there. Pacheco is actually down to 55 potential, actually, which is really not good to see. So if I will just jump through this, Susak up to 50 overall. Yeah, Pacheco, that's really not good to see. Obviously, he was the big trade we did make. His eyes dropped. He was the big trade we did make. Obviously, we traded away Austin Martin, who has been very, very good for the Nationals so far. So this is not looking like a good trade of ours. Okay, I was going to say, when I saw these numbers here, but he is only in AA, so That's perfectly fine there then. Perhaps though, Pacheco has been playing very, very well. Perhaps we can move him up. Montgomery, still got there. We got Paulinho here. Isaiah Lowe, Moss. Right. So if we get through this game here, so 11-6 loss. Morojon's been injured for 1 week. I mean, dead on for 1 week. I'll be more than likely just to leave that there as it is. We do have a couple of days rest here before we face the Angels. So we got up against Griffin and Canning, who's 3-0 with a 3.0, with a 3 ERA. Hanai is still batting very, very well. Right, so Roy Basanas pitching up against Griffin Canning here. 9-3 win for us, which is great to see. Chapman with a homer, 3 hits for Workman, 2 hits for Chapman, 2 hits for Hanayas. I mean, you always, pretty much almost every game, you see them coming up and producing. Good pitching from Junga and Mejia. Katayama, the Otani replacement, is up against Carl Miller here, who's not had a great start to the year with an 8-7 loss. He gave up 4 runs. 4 runs for Zach Jackson. I don't think he'd done that the whole of last year. And he's done that already there. So, it's, really not nice to see. 2 hits for Workman. 2 hits for Bellinger. And for some reason there, I don't know why. Zach Jackson is a closer here. He should be set as a closer on here as well. Done on for 3 more days. Right, so if we finish off this series here against the Angels, JP Sears, and it's a 6-3 loss, and the Mariners have actually came up past us here. So we want to win the division. We should be winning the division. Luca Tresh has really not turned it around. I'll give it till we're playing the Mariners in about a week or so. Well, a little less than a week, 5 days. So we'll get these games done. I'll perhaps come back to you at the Seattle series. We'll get through that and then perhaps sort of finish off with all these. Maybe I will move Tresh out of the lineup before then. The only thing is, obviously, do I bring up Susach? And I'm very tempted, if I'm honest. Isaiah Lowe could more than likely come up as well here. Same as Carson Montgomery, who have both been very, very good for us in AAA. Who do they replace in the starting rotation, though? Carl Muller, by the looks of it. Grant Holman's actually been hot as of late. He started off the year very, very poorly, but he's starting to turn it around just a little bit. You know what? We will finish off. I'll finish this off the series. So I'll get through these next run of games and I'll come back to you at the Mariners series. Right, so we're back now, and this Mariners series isn't quite as important as I thought it once would be. They've really started to tail off a little bit. Our win percentage taken a little bit of a dip, but it's just 1 win here or there. The Angels are in first place in the division though, so that will be an important series at the end of the year. The Astros not so much, because as much as obviously we looked at the off-season, how they got on. Obviously they gave a big contract to Max Fried after great 3 seasons he had on the trot. He's really been poor here, so they're not looking good this year at all. The Astros, especially with the team they've got as well, they should be doing a lot better than what they have been doing. But we do have an injury to Grant Holman as well, so I'm waiting to see how that gets on, and potentially that will lead to the promotion of a couple of our starting pitchers. So 7-1 win here against the Mariners to start off. Zach Geloff with 5 hits, and he's already up. So maybe I don't need to demote him, if I'm honest. Gage Workman still doing very, very well. 2 hits for Hernaiz. Right, Luis Garcia, Roy Salinas. 6-4 loss. Not good to see. 2 hits for Chapman, 2 hits for Geloff, who's really started to heat up a little bit now. Right, Jose Quintana up against Carl Miller here. 7-6 win. Home run for Zach Geloff, who's really gone a bit of a tear actually. There's 3 games in the trot. He seems to be playing much better than what he was. Ruiz as well is now in a positive war, at least. His OPS plus is creeping up. So maybe I don't need to remove him and put Bellinger at centre field for now at least. So Ty Floyd here, JP Sears, 7-2 victory. Fantastic. Zach Geloff again with another home run. Wow, okay. At DH as well. So maybe he needs to get a lot more time at DH above Luca Tresh, it does seem. Okay, wow. This is the first time I've looked in here, by the way, and this is really not good to see. So Mullinax is dropped from a 70 potential to a 50. Carrier was at 65. He's dropped just a little. I mean, he's batting really, really well here in Able. Perhaps should look at bringing him up. Aiden Harris has dropped from a 70 to a 45 and hasn't played any time. Same with Sheffield as well, but they're not quite good enough. They're only 18 to go up to Able. Marauders as well has stayed the same at least. But yeah, you know, this AAA team is absolutely ridiculous. I really should look at perhaps trading a few of these guys together for perhaps, you know, instead of having so many of these guys, maybe trading and having a third of the guys, but a little bit better. I mean, I say a bit quality. You can't get much better quality than this, though. If I'm honest, is the only thing with that. But our team is much more balanced. We're leading strikeouts, 3rd in FIP, but as well as that, the bats. We're 2nd in batting WAR, 3rd in OPS, 3rd in WOBA. We're really strong with both the bats and with the pitching. The defense hasn't been quite so good, which is a bit of a shame because, you know, usually that's probably the easiest thing to get good on OOTP for sure. So that's definitely something we should look to improve at least. But what I will do. So the schedule is here. I'll just come back to you at the Astros game here. So we're back for the last couple of series here of the month. I made a couple of changes. Obviously, as you can see, Azilo has came up. Our top prospect's been brought up. I say our top prospect. He's now our 2nd highest prospect. But realistically, you know, the ratings, he is our number 1 prospect. Has been brought up to the major leagues along with our 2nd prospect and, you know, realistically our 2nd ace. Our 2 starting pitchers of the future came up to the majors for the first time at the same time here as well. And hopefully they can make a difference. We are 1st in the division already as it is, but I've made a few changes in terms of who I sent down. I mean, actually, I'll show you the lineups first. I brought up Schofield Sam has came up, and so is Daniel Susak as well, who's actually going to start at catcher for us over Langeliers, mainly because the defense hasn't been good anyway. Like, the defense really hasn't been good, and we've been playing great defenders. You know, we got Workman, we got Ruiz, Matt Chapman, Hernaiz. We got great defenders playing, so I'm unsure why it hasn't been working out. And Susak isn't a bad defender as it is anyway, so hopefully, you know, he does a job. He's got a better bat, so I thought I'd give him a chance. Obviously Schofield Sam's came up as well. And then in terms of who's gone down, obviously Luca Tresh has gone down here. he just wasn't good enough over a couple of months really there. Connor Capel's gone down as well. Wasn't good enough. I know he's an all-star a couple of years ago, but that's 2 years now where he's the same as he was last year. And it's just not good enough for us, especially now with the amount of options we've got. So Connor Capel's been sent down. I couldn't trade him away. No one wanted him. So I just sent him down for AAA for now. And the thing is, we've got so many options down in AAA here. Obviously, we've still got Krismat down here, Tolia, Perkins, Miller. Pacheco as well was another one who I did look to bring up, but he wasn't doing quite as well as Schofield Sam. For now, this trade is really looking like a bad trade now. But Max Muncy was one as well, he's had some really good seasons in the minors over the past couple of years. Been really good, but the issue is, when you got Hanayes at second base, you haven't got a shot really. You haven't got a chance. And Cabrera, considering he's coming off the bench, in limited time, he can play a lot of positions. He's a great utility man. So I've left Cabrera up for now. I may change. I may bring Max Muncy up towards the end of the year. He can play second base, third, and short. So, that's realistically that's what we need. We don't need him to play the outfield. Because Gorski's been great. Still been absolutely great for us in limited time. Brendan Dawes starting a lot more though. Gave him a lot more time, and if he doesn't turn out and work out well, I'll replace him with Gorski. So that was sort of some of the main changes I did make. So Brenton Dawes is actually playing against righties and lefties now. So hopefully he continues to perform. But we're going to start off against Houston. I don't know if Azalo's actually going to. I think he is exhausted, so because he has been playing for the AAA team, so I don't think he's going to start today. But we're up against Framber Valdez here, up against the Astros, who haven't been great at all. And how do we get on? It's JPC as he started, and we got a 7-2 defeat, unfortunately. Workman and Hanayes with a home run each. Wasn't great on offense there. 6 runs given up by JP Sears, who's actually had he's actually been really above average fit minus, but the ERA plus has been horrendous. The defense really let him down so far this year. Grant Holman here up against Javier, 5-4 win. 2 hits for Nias, 2 hits for Workman. I'm getting used to seeing that now. A couple of hits for Colas. Cabrera home run. Same with Colas. Grant Holman had 7 hits and 3 runs over 5 innings, but it was good enough to get the win. Schreiber had a blown save. I don't know why he was there, but Zach Jackson did get the save in the end. Right, so Lance McCullers here up against Waldichuk and a 5-4 loss. But this is a big series. This is where we can really separate ourselves from the team that's second place in the division. If they sweep us here, they're going to go past us here. But if we sweep them, we're going to really separate ourselves in the lead of the division here. So this is a major series here. And we got Isaiah Lowe starting his first game for us up against Owen White here, who's actually been really quite good so far this year. Above league average pitcher. Right, let's go. Isaiah Lowe. And a 4-2 loss. He starts off his MLB career with a defeat. Losing pitcher was Isaiah Lowe. Not good to see. Mike Trout with a home run. Couple of hits for Workman, Hanayes, Chapman. Isaiah Lowe pitched 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, 7 hits. He went quite far actually. That's not as bad as I thought it would have been. And Carson Montgomery is starting next in his first MLB game up against Ben Brown here, and a 2-1 defeat. This has not gone the way I would have liked it to have gone. Carson Montgomery wasn't the issue there by the looks of it. So, the offense didn't help him out at all really there. He gave it 1 run over 5.2 innings. And Salinas got the loss, unfortunately. So, next game, JPC is up against Luis Severino. 8-4 victory, thank God. Cabrera with another home run. 3 hits for Susak. He's only played 5 games so far. But Cabrera was good. Right, let's finish this off. Griffin Canning here. 7-0 a loss, and we're at 500. I mean, the other teams in our division are comfortably horrendous. But, considering what Angels have one game above 500, with the team we've got, we need to be doing a lot better than we have been doing. Estri Ruiz has been pathetic. And to be honest, when you come back, he probably won't be starting by the looks of this. Schofield Sam hasn't been good since he came up either. So maybe Pacheco will get a chance. 11-2 win, though, against the Astros here. 3 hits for Ruiz, he needed that. 3 hits for Hernandez, same as usual. Yeah, Ruiz is 64 OPS plus, is not good enough. But Hernandez, with a 157 OPS plus, and he's on schedule to hit over 30 home runs and 7.5 WAR. What a player he's been for us. Brenton Doyle, 118 OPS plus, continue to be, a decent option for us at least. Waldichuk's been good. And then Lance McCullers here. What I will do is I'll probably just finish off this series here. So we're up against Lance McCullers with Zazilo and a 7-5 defeat. So he starts off with 2 losses, which is not good to see. But if we have a little look through here, Yasser Mercedes, Maraudis is improving. Ooh, okay, so this guy has came out of nowhere. Juelvis Del Rosario. I will put him up to AA at least because he's more than good enough. He's 24 years old. And he's really just had a mass development there. Out of nowhere. 45 to 55 stuff. Potential's up to 60 with that. And then his movement and control have gone up. As well as the velocity. Really, really good to see there. That's what you get with the higher development budget. You do get players that will come out of nowhere, really, which is really good to see. Schofield Sam is still developing though, as much as he hasn't been very good for us here in his brief time. Lorenzo Carrier has been great in high A. Abel, I will actually just up him to high A here straight away. So if we finish off this series against the Astros with 27-27, hopefully we finish off the episode first in the division. 3-2 win. Are we first in the division though? No. Just behind the Angels. We're half a game back. 3-2 win there. Carson Montgomery, 1 run given up over 5.2 innings. Really, really good to see from him. Isilo's actually been pitching a really good FIP actually so far. Carson Montgomery as well, similar FIP. Hopefully they continue for the rest of the year, and hopefully they get a bit of offensive help as well. The defense is just horrendous, if I'm honest. The strikeout, we're first in strikeouts, but the defensive efficiency is awful. And the bats, I mean, we're third in runs scored, so as much as the average in the on-base percentage isn't as high as we'll like, we're scoring a lot of runs, and that's all we can really do there. But what I will say is, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and please do comment down below and let me know what you think. If there's anything I should do, if you've got any recommendations for who I should bring up, because we certainly do have a lot of options in the system. I don't know, what we can do. We do. It's not like our players are performing poorly here. Maybe make a few changes with some of these guys. Obviously, we brought Susak and Schofield Sam up, who just haven't been very good. But they haven't played many games yet, so hopefully they do turn it around. Estri Ruiz has fallen off a cliff. Langles hasn't been good, so Kachu we're actually struggling here. But Gorski, Doyle, Kolas, Workman, Chapman, Bellinger, Hernandez have all they've all been great. I mean, especially these 4. I mean, Workman, Chapman, Bellinger, and Hernandez. It seems every time I check the box score after a game, they've had a phenomenal game. All 4 of them really. It seems to happen very, very, very often. Cody Bellinger can probably move to start at centre field very, very soon, actually. And then, with how Ruiz is playing, he can probably move to start at centre field, and then we can probably move. Then Brenton Doyle and Gorski can get a bit more time on the corner outfields. Obviously, we've got Schofield, Sam there, but we have plenty of options down here as well. We have Pacheco, DeLuca as well, who can always come back up. He's played really, really well in AAA. Pacheco's still doing the same thing, playing well in AAA as well. We've obviously got two, top first basemen here. The only thing is, Kolas, who's playing first base at the moment, isn't playing poorly by any means. Zach Geloff we could bring down and bring up, perhaps one of these guys, Paulino, who's starting to improve, and Jack Moss here as well. And obviously we still, don't forget we've got Davison de los Santos here, and also Max Muncy, who's still on fire in AAA, really. Really do need to get him up. But yeah, please like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one, where we'll hopefully go through the rookie draft and up to the trade deadline. I would imagine I'm looking to move things on a bit quicker now this season. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.